What's up, everybody? So we're out in the shop with another Shop Talk Tuesday, and in this episode we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the edge on the giveaway knife. So this awesome knife right here, what this is this was a knife that was forged out of 80 CRV2. We've got our cool forging texture across the ricasso and the flats, and then this cool texture that we created with the 36 grit belt, doing some acid etching and some sanding to create this cool look to it. And then with this beautiful scales that we have here, really like how this is set up. You know, I had a bunch of people on both sides of the fence on whether I should acid etch the spine of this knife or if I should leave it, and it was almost split like 50-50, with a tad bit more people saying to leave it polished. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the edge on it, and then I'm going to ask y'all again. After we get the edge on it and you can see what it looks like with, you know, everything framing the actual blade part, I want to see what y'all think from that. So once I put an edge on it, I'll have y'all go ahead and comment whether y'all think, if y'all are still on the etching the spine like side of the fence, or if you're on the leaving it how it is side of the fence. So we'll see how that goes. But today, edge, that's what we're going to work on. What we're going to be doing is using our 2x72 to set the secondary bevel, get it ground in, and then we're going to use the 1x30 to go ahead and refine that secondary bevel. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a 200 grit belt on the 2x72. It's a used belt, it's not a brand new belt, so it's not going to eat the material away super fast, but it's going to help us get to that secondary bevel without getting the edge super hot. So I don't want to risk messing up my heat treat or anything like that, so we're going just low enough grit that we can make sure and get it on there without worrying about accidentally overheating anything and messing anything up. Now on the 1x30 we're going to be using a 600 grit belt, an 800 grit belt, and then a leather strapping belt to be able to get the edge that I want on here. I don't feel the need to go any higher than that, especially on something that is going to be used for chopping and different things like that. Now, a big thing to know about knives is you only need certain edge geometries and certain sharpnesses for what you're going to do. When it comes down to it, certain edge geometries can only get so sharp, because if you have a particular edge geometry and you focus on getting it just absolutely ridiculously sharp to almost to the point to where it's no longer going to hold its edge for that particular thing. So let's say you're going to make a chopper. You're not going to put the same edge geometry that you'd put on a chef's knife on a chopper, because as soon as you cut through something stiff once, or maybe a piece of wood, it's going to fold that edge and it's no longer going to be sharp. But if you get your edge geometry right and then put a really good edge on it, it's going to stay sharp for a while, because that's what that intended edge was for. So you're not making a slicer, because a slicer can hold its edge for a little bit longer if you are meaning to slice things with it, versus something that is going to be more EDC or chopper-esque. It's going to have a little bit beefier edge, still going to be able to be ridiculously sharp, but again, you can only make a knife so sharp for its intended purpose. You're not making a lightsaber. You're not making something that's just going to slice through everything exactly the same way, no matter what particular material it comes in contact with. You know, everything's got to be designed for a specific reason. Now, a lot of people, they have, you know, particular angles that they put everything, and they have their precise measurements and all that. I go off of what I've used in the past to get that particular edge geometry that I know that I want, based on the edge retention for the things that I've used over the past 20 years. So that's what I go with. I don't have any particular devices measuring anything whenever I do it. I get into the belt, I get my edge how I want it, go from there. So let's go ahead, let's get on this 2x72, Let's get our secondary bevel ground into this knife. So before we get into this, you're going to see me articulating my wrist here and moving my hand. This one is going to stay exactly where it's going to be. That's going to be my work rest basically. But you're going to see me rocking back and doing, now this is a really exaggerated version of it, but you're going to see me doing that because what I'm going to be doing is keeping this secondary bevel consistent all the way across this edge. I'm not pulling straight across and doing it like this, because if I did that, the edge wouldn't be consistent all the way down. We'd get weird looking variations of that secondary bevel all the way down the edge. So watch me as I do this, because this is the stuff that goes into being able to sharpen something that's got recurve on it. So this right here is what I'm talking about. We got a consistent secondary bevel all the way down to the tip that is the same size all the way. That's what we're going for right there. That's why we go through and we're articulating this and pivoting it the whole entire time to make sure we get exactly what we want. One of the things to also know about whenever you're doing your sharpening on a knife that's got a pretty deep plunge line like this, you want to make sure that you're actually following your plunge line. So you want your plunge line to be almost parallel to the side of your platen here, because if you accidentally go like this and dig into it a little bit too much, you risk bumping the belt with your plunge line right there. So you just want to make sure that you're using it to where you're almost, like I said, parallel plunge line to the side of your platen. Alright, now let's go ahead, hit the 1x30 and do our higher grip belts. So you'll see on the 1x30, I'm going to hold the knife differently. So whenever I was on the 2x72, I was going against the rotation of the belt, so cutting edge up. On the higher grits, I'll be going with the rotation of the belt and going down. And this is just a personal preference. You can keep going this way if you want to, but the downside to doing it like this with the higher grit belts is you risk cutting the belt and snapping it at a high RPM. So you want to make sure that you're going this way so that you don't risk slicing through that belt. Been there, done that, learn from experience. So let's go ahead and get this on this 600 grit belt. So now we have our 800 grit belt, and we're going to go ahead and just start refining this burr that we were able to build up on this edge. Now, what you're trying to do whenever you're creating a burr is you're getting the edge to where it's so sharp that there's a little bit of steel on the edge here that is actually folding over. So we're trying to get that all the way down the blade. And then what we'll end up doing with the leather stropping belt is knocking that burr off and leaving that really razor sharp cutting edge on there. So that's what we're going to do. Get this going, refine that bevel and get that burr even more pronounced, and then we'll go on to the leather stropping belt. So now that we have our leather stropping belt on here, we're going to go ahead and strop our edge. We're going to remove that burr that we built up on here and leave our nice razor sharp edge after this. Well, y'all, I really think that it's nice and sharp and it can hold its edge just fine. Now, let's get a little close up here. So we've got our nice cutting edge right there, nice and uniform. We go into that nice polished, belly and spine. I really like the way this is turning out. I mean, I'd be perfectly fine with it being etched on the spine and everything as well. I really like the way it looks like it does, but again, I'm kind of either way. Now, what I'm going to do is go off of a suggestion that someone did on the last Shop Talk Tuesday, and that was let the person who actually, wins the knife decide whether we're going to etch this spine and belly or not. We're going to let that person decide that. But I know y'all are trying to figure out, well, Eric, that's fine and dandy and all, but how do we win the damn knife? Tell us how we win it. So, you're going to do 3 things, okay? And that's going to be in the comment section of this video. So 3 things. First, say I am in for the giveaway. Second, tell me what type of knife or sword is your favorite cutting object. Third, tell me where you're from. Are you from Texas? Are you from Canada? Are you from a particular part of Canada? A particular part of Brazil? A particular part of Germany? Australia? I would like to know those things. So those 3 things are a must, because what I'm going to do is a random comment generator. So I'm going to do they have all these different YouTube random comment like pickers, and what it's going to do is it's going to generate all of the unique comments in that comment section. And the reason why unique is important is putting 5 to 10 to 55 comments in the comment section is not going to increase your chance to win this. It's going to go through and look at all the commenters and pull 1 comment out of the 5 comments that one person did, and that's what one that is going to be put into the randomizer. Now here's the catch. If those 3 things are not in there, I'm in for the giveaway. This is my favorite type of sword or knife or cutting object. And then I am from this location on the planet. If those 3 things aren't in there, I'm going to re-randomize it and go to the next person. So you got to have those in there in the comment section for this video. And we'll go ahead and pick the winner on next week's Shop Talk Tuesday. By then, we should have 20,000 subscribers in. I think we'll be fine. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And even if we're at 19,985, I'm still going to go ahead and do it, because by the time the person actually gets this knife, we'll be at over 20,000 subscribers. So there you go. That is how you enter. Okay? Remember, I'm going to reiterate it one more time. In the comment section to this video, I'm in for the giveaway. This is my favorite type of knife, sword / cutting object thing. I am from this location on the planet. That's all you gotta do. It's that simple. Guys, good luck. I hope that whoever wins this is just gonna have a blast with it. Guys, that is the end of this video. Remember to make sure that y'all, come for next week's Shop Talk Tuesday so you can see who won it, to see if it might be you. Guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share this video or one of my other videos, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel, because that is what we need to do to get that 20,000 subscribers. Guys, thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for spending your time with me. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all next time.